Welcome to Mini Moderns. My name's Simone, and thank you for joining me on my tiny corner on the miniature interweb where we're here to think big, build small. So let's get into it.
Before we get into the video, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who's joined me over on Patreon and just taking that little leap of faith with me. I really do appreciate you. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And I'd like to give a massive shout out to Suki Tabor for joining us over on the mini structures. I really do appreciate you. Your extra support means so much and it helps me grow and develop this channel even more. I'd also like to give a shout out to everyone who's joined me over on my Think Big, Build Small private Facebook group. It's just a small group where we can get together, share our work and just get to know each other a little bit more in a private setting. So head over there and I look forward to connecting with you and seeing some of your beautiful creations. So today we're going to be working on this awesome printable set. It's a rug and cushion set. It's available in my Etsy store and my Patreon shop and available for my tier 2s on Patreon. It comes in 3 colors. You get the black, you get the blue, and you get the red. I'm going to show you how to make the slip cushion today. They're super easy, super cute and fun to do. There's a picture tutorial that comes along with the package as well if sometimes people just want to take their time and read it, so that is also available in the package. But today I'm going to show you by video how we're going to make our own freezer paper fabric and the slip cushion. So let's get on with it. So let's start with a few things you're going to need: something to cut your fabric and your freezer paper, some scissors, blade, rotary tool, whatever you have, and then it's your choice of how you want to close your fabric together. Fabric sew glue, webbing, iron-on webbing, this is really good, I enjoy using that, or the good old-fashioned needle and thread. You're going to need some pins as well just to hold things in place. You're also going to need the paper that you're going to use for your printer. I'm going to be using A4 paper and some masking tape. We're going to just stick the 4 corners with the masking tape because this is what we're going to be sticking onto the fabric and freezer paper to get the shape that we need. You're also going to need some freezer paper. I will leave a link in the description for everything that I'm going to be using on this project as well. So the freezer paper is going to have one waxy side and one paper side. The wax side is what we're going to be ironing onto, and then of course you're going to need your fabric, some kind of cotton or linen, something really sturdy. You're also going to need a ruler, and I like to use some kids play mats if I'm not using my ironing board. They're really good to iron with. And then of course an iron. So now we've got everything we need. It's time to prep our printable fabric. So we're going to put the freezer paper on the bottom with the waxy side facing up. Then we're going to add the fabric that we need, and then we're just going to simply iron that fabric onto the freezer paper. Just keep on just pressing down until it is nice and sealed. So you should have something like this when you're done. The fabric is pressed on to the freezer paper. Now we're going to take our A4 sheet of paper. This is our template that we're going to cut around so it fits into our printer. So as I said, just use the masking tape to stick that down because it's easy to peel off and it doesn't leave any marks or stains. So you press that down. You can even iron that down again if you want to. So now you've got 3 layers. Now you just take your ruler, your rotary tool or your blade and just cut through all 3 layers till you have the size of the paper. So just go around and cut through all 4 sides. When you're done, you can peel off the top layer of paper, making sure that the fabric and the freezer paper are still intact. Just give it a little box over with the iron just to make sure none of the edges come up, because you don't want your fabric getting trapped or creased in the printer. So just make sure that is really nice and sealed. I like to mark which way to put my paper so I don't accidentally print on the freezer paper instead of the fabric. So for me, the fabric is underneath and the freezer paper is on top. So just do a check on some paper to see which way your printer prints. Now you open up your file. So there is a PDF and a JPEG, and I like to choose the actual size so it gets the size that I've actually made for you already. Or if you want, you can downsize this for 50% if you want to do this in 1/24 scale. So you kind of have 2 options as well, which is super cool. So that is just something I just wanted to show you. Then you go ahead and print, but you want to make sure that you're printing on high quality as well, just to get the best out of it. Then you print your fabric out. Don't be like me and be too hasty and pull it out, because I got some ink on the sides, but it's fine because it didn't actually touch the material itself. So when you're doing this at home, just think about that. So what I've done on the rug, I've left an extra trimming, so you can decide if you want to cut it off and just have the rug as it is, or if you want to have the trimming. I'm going to show you how to use the trimming. So again, using a nice sharp blade, just cut your design out. So if you're doing this with your own pattern, again, just cut it out. I like to leave the freezer paper underneath just for a little bit of extra stability, but you could take it off and have it on something else. It's up to you. So I said at this stage, you could cut the trims off if you don't want it, but I'm going to show you how to do it with it on. So I just fold over the line that you can just see here, just so it's easier for me to peel off. You could easily just peel the back off a little bit and then just cut the freezer paper off that you don't need. You just need to take your time and be careful with it. I'm going to use a blade and go very lightly across the score line, making sure that I do not cut through the fabric as well. This just makes it a little bit easier for me to peel the freezer paper off. So with the back paper scored a little bit, you can just find that gap and just move along the edge really gently, not to peel the whole freezer paper off. And then we could just cut that off. With the fabric moved away from the freezer paper, you could just fold it over and score it. Either use your scissors or your blade and then just cut that freezer paper off. Now we can start fraying or threading the fabric. So you can see some loose strands here. We're just going to pull them away and fray this whole piece until it gets to the mark of the trim. If you want to take it down further, that is entirely up to you. Now we have an awesome looking rug, but we just got to secure it so it doesn't start fraying. You could use some fray stop or anti-fray, whatever you have. I'm going to use some tacky glue because I find that it works really well. And it's what I had on hand. So I'm just going to go all around the edges and then just use this tacky glue and then just let it set and dry. And then we are good to go, baby. Look at that. Looks really super cool. And you just let that dry and then you've got yourself a little rug. Very well done. Pat yourself on the back. Now it's time to move on to the cushions. So you're going to cut out all of your fabric and also cut out a template that I've made. Cut it on some foam board. I find that helpful just to give you the extra measurements and the space that you need. So now we're going to peel the fabric away from the freezer paper this time because we do not need it. Just take your time as well. All the fraying and that will be sorted. So go ahead and peel them. There are 2 sizes as well because you know we like our cushions nice and fluffy and cozy and stuffs. So I'm going to be closing my cushion using the multi-fabric sew glue because I really love it and I don't want to sew right now. But you can sew, like I said earlier, or use the iron-on fabric. So you want to have your cushion with the pattern facing you and then put the template on top of the cushion so it slightly overlaps each other. And now we're going to use a pin just to hold that in place. And this is where you would close that end with your chosen method. As I said, I am going to use the glue to do it, but if you want to sew, you just sew right across that where that pin is, and we're going to leave the other side open before we close it because we need to take the foam board out first. So here I've got one side sealed where the glue is drying, and then I can just take my foam board out, and while the other side is drying, I'll show you how we do the glue. So we just put a little bit on that little flap that connects the little slip, and then just put a whole bunch along the back. This glue dries super fast as well, and it's not messy at all. So once you've got your glue on there, again, I'm going to just put a clamp over it and then just pinch down the side or put another smaller clamp and then go ahead and then just wait for that to dry. Now it's completely dry, I can reverse this. As I said, you can just sew this as well to save the waiting time for the drying, or use the iron-on web, which again is super efficient as well. Just depends what you have to hand. I just wanted to show that there's different methods around this. So now we're going to put this the right way and we can start filling it. I like to just use my tweezers as well to kind of push out the corners or anything that doesn't sit right. So our cushion's the right way. Now we can start stuffing it. You could choose whatever you like, beads, cotton, rice, whatever you got to hand to stuff it. I'm using some cushioning cotton and it works really well, really nice and soft. I'm just going to fill that till I'm happy with it. Trim off any excess threading that we don't need. And for me to seal it, I do add a little bit of tacky glue to the back just to make sure it doesn't pop open, because I like my cushions really full, but you can put a lot less cushioning inside. But just go ahead and use some tacky glue just to seal the back. It's clean, it's clear, and it just seals it as well. You could do exactly the same for the small cushions, or if you wanted to keep the trim, you could do this on either side as well. Instead of having the pattern facing you, you have the pattern on the outside, and just seal all along the edges all around, just like this. You could do it on both cushions if you wanted the pattern or to mix and match. It's completely up to you. So there's a lot of variety and options that you could do with these cushions, but here are the final results, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that tutorial, and if you want to get your own, it's available in my Etsy store, and it's free for my tier 2s and up on my Patreon, or in my Patreon shop you can get it. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and got some value from it. If you have, comment down below. The link is in the description for all of my socials and everything that I've used today. This bundle does come in black, blue and red. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you guys in the comments. Stay tuned for the next video. Bye bye. Like, share, subscribe.